Listen in to what Amit Shah had told Republic's editor-in-chief Arnab Goswami during the Republic Summit.
अमित शाह जी, बंगाल में ही नहीं पूरे देश में गृह मंत्री जी CAA कब लागू होगा? क्योंकि अब मॉडल कोड ऑफ कॉन्डक्ट कभी भी लागू हो सकता है और आपका बयान भी आ चुका है कि CAA लागू होकर रहेगा, तो इस पर कोई टाइमलाइन आप कह सकते हैं कि कब होगा?
मैं फिर से कहता हूं, CAA ये देश का कानून है, पत्थर पर लकीर है, ये वास्तविकता है, ये लागू होगा ही होगा और इस चुनाव के पहले होगा।
इस चुनाव के पहले होगा, इस चुनाव के पहले होगा। ये बहुत बड़ी बात कही है आज। मैं तो ये कह सकता हूं कि ये हाहाकार हो गई। आपने जो बात अभी कही है, गृह मंत्री जी ने बहुत बड़ी बात हम सबके सामने
प्रणव जी, तालियां बज गई, कोई धमाका नहीं। ये बात मैं 10 बार बता चुका हूं।
नहीं, मगर आप
चुनाव के पहले CAA लागू होगा। इस देश का कानून है, इसको कोई नहीं रोक सकता।
फैंटास्टिक। तो नोटिफिकेशन बस आने वाली है। फिर आपको लगता है नोटिफिकेशन तो बस आने वाली है? देखिए, हमें तो ब्रेकिंग न्यूज चाहिए ना। अब आपने इतनी बड़ी ब्रेकिंग न्यूज दी है, आदत से मजबूर हम भी हैं। बहुत बड़ी ब्रेकिंग न्यूज है और मुझे लगता है सब लोग इस पर जरूर बात करेंगे और इसका प्रभाव क्या होगा, इसका इंपैक्ट क्या होगा, अगर आप संक्षिप्त में इस पर कुछ कह सके तो।
देखिए, CAA कानून कोई नई बात नहीं है
जी।
कांग्रेस पार्टी कई चीजों को भूल गई है। मत बैंक की लालच में, वोट बैंक की लालच में कई चीजें भूल गई है। जैसे UCC
जी
संविधान सभा का वादा था, इसी तरह से जब देश का दुर्भाग्यपूर्ण तरीके से धर्म के आधार पर विभाजन हुआ, तब पाकिस्तान और अब के बांग्लादेश से लाखों की संख्या में हिंदू, बौद्ध, सिख शरणार्थी आ रहे थे और मार काट हो रही थी। कांग्रेस के ही नेताओं ने, देश के नेताओं ने एक वादा किया था, आप धैर्य रखिए, आप कभी भी यहां आएंगे, आपको ये देश स्वीकार करेगा, आपको नागरिकता देगा। इस वादे पर सभी लोग वहां रहे
जी।
उनके पर अनेक प्रकार के अत्याचार हुए, धार्मिक प्रताड़ना हुई, धर्म परिवर्तन करने के लिए दबाव बनाया गया, उनकी महिलाओं को, हमारी माताओं बहनों को अपमानित किया गया। वो लोग बदलने के लिए भारत की शरण में आए और अगर
Well, that's the big news now coming in. Modi government has notified the Citizenship Amendment Act. It's now official. Details now coming in with regards to the notification that has been issued by the Modi government. Important to point out that this was Bharatiya Janata Party's part of the manifesto back in 2019, a promise that was made for those who have been persecuted in our neighboring countries. The Citizenship Amendment Act has now been notified. The legislation comes into effect. We'll get more details of by when the implementation will actually begin. But this was an assurance that was given by the Union Home Minister that nothing is going to stop from this legislation being implemented despite the kind of opposition coming into this entire matter. But the government has now announced implementation of the Citizenship Amendment Act, integral part of BJP's 2019 manifesto. What does this mean? This means that it is going to pave way for the persecuted to find citizenship in India. Remember, there is a cut-off date that has also been brought in. The centre has already announced CAA. We'll try and explain this to you, ladies and gentlemen. There have been widespread protests that had taken place back in 2019, leading up to both the houses passing the Citizenship Amendment Bill, and this has now become an act with the legislation brought into effect. We'll try and also go across to our reporters on the ground to get you the latest details. We'll try and first connect to Senior Executive Editor Abhishek Kapoor, who's getting us that big announcement that has been made by the Modi government. Let's just quickly take you through some of the details that are now coming in with regards to the implementation process. The government has already made the announcement. Getting us the latest details is our senior executive editor Abhishek Kapoor. It's now official, Abhishek. The government has announced the CAA rules in terms of implementation. When does it come into effect?
Well, yes, Shawan, so that information coming in through government sources that the CAA rules have been notified, after which all the persecuted minorities in Afghanistan, Pakistan and Bangladesh, with a cutoff, of course, of the CAA as provided in the Act, would be entitled to become citizens of India. Remember the kind of controversy that took place on this issue in 2019 to 2020, in fact, when the Act was passed by the Parliament, the manner in which some motivated vested interest inimical to India's peace and prosperity twisted the narrative and the meaning of the CAA and created an impression that it is against a particular minority or that it is aimed at denying citizenship to already existing citizens of the country. And I think the government, of course, waited for a long 5 years to let the temper subside. Subsequently, we have seen a lot of communication happening. The last, of course, remember, Union Home Minister Amit Shah on March 7 at Republic Summit mentioning that CAA rules would be notified ahead of announcement of the elections by the Election Commission of India, and that they are not against citizens of the country or any particular section of the citizens of the country. They do not deny citizenship. They, in fact, provide citizenship to persecuted minorities, and those rules now being notified by the government. It was an important BJP promise made in 2019 election manifesto, talked about in 2014 as well, and now CAA rules getting notified. The state police forces have been asked to be on a state of alert so that the anti-social, anti-national elements do not again attempt to twist the narrative. But then I think it's going off peacefully, and the government, their sources telling us, has already notified the CAA Citizenship Amendment Act rules for which the government has waited for 5 years. Shawan.
Abhishek, well, I'll just request you to stay on with us. What the opposition parties have been essentially arguing that this is an assault on secular value. The government, on the other hand, has been indicating that this is a humanitarian legislation. After all, this is about the persecuted in our neighboring countries who've been given this rightful place. And that is the reason why the demand was only growing over a period of time. Those who have been settled here in the national capital as well as other states, particularly in Rajasthan, West Bengal, they've all been demanding that the CAA should be implemented. But once again, what's important to point out here is that this is yet another promise that was made by the Bharatiya Janata Party government, and particularly the party in its manifesto back in 2019. So part of various other promises, but this too has now been delivered by the government. Now, in terms of the delay that actually took place of bringing in the notification, there was extensive consultation that was actually done by the Union Home Ministry. Abhishek, if you can just take us through some of the details in terms of the consultation that has been done and why it becomes extremely crucial for the government to make the announcement just before the Model Code of Conduct kicks in.
Well, Shawan, so it had to be announced before the MCC kicks in because this is a policy measure, important policy measure, and the Model Code of Conduct prohibits making those kind of announcements. All precautionary measures in terms of keeping the state police forces in a state of readiness have been done. So far as consultation is concerned, this is essentially, remember, a position taken by the BJP that all those being persecuted in our neighborhood in Afghanistan, Pakistan, Bangladesh, and we have seen a stream of persecuted Hindu and Sikh minorities coming in from these affected geographies. In fact, remember, we have seen those pictures of the last of the Sikh community leaving Kabul and along with their Guru Granth Sahib and coming over to India and being provided shelter. So I think this was an ideological position of the BJP which translated into a law. In between, of course, maybe because the communication was not comprehensive, anti-social, anti-national elements got an opportunity to twist the facts. But subsequently, I think the government, with a lot of patience and maturity, has handled the situation, waited for all these years, and in the meantime, communicated to the target audience that this is not against any particular minority, and so the law should be allowed to kick in, and hence the rules being notified today. As Home Minister had said, Shawan, that CAA is already a law which exists on our statute books, and it's just a matter of rules which has been done now. And nobody can take away from the fact that the law is part of the statute and it's part of Indian law. And rules kicking in, it becomes easier for the government to follow the process and give citizenship to all those people who have come from these affected geographies where they are particularly targeted for being from that community. So Hindus being targeted for being Hindus in Pakistan, Sikhs for being targeted for being Sikhs in Afghanistan, as also Buddhists and Jains, and for the same in the same manner in Bangladesh. So I think all those people who are left there, if at all, insofar as Afghanistan is concerned, at least, and in Pakistan, a lot of Hindu minority, persecuted minority, they have this hope that there is a law which exists in India which provides for giving shelter to them and Indian citizenship. As of now, of course, there is a cut-off date, but then it's not a law in perpetuity. But then, if some people have been granted citizenship on the ground that they have been persecuted, how do you deny others? So I think in that sense it leaves a window, but important development there ahead of elections, the BJP fulfilling one more of its promises and making this announcement that the rules have been notified.
Well, Abhishek, just a quick query before I let you go, and I also go across to our reporters because I given to understand in some places celebrations would begin in a short while from now. But before I let you go, Abhishek, now there is always this fear that many of these opposition parties have been highlighting, that what if the NRC is clubbed with CAA, particularly in the state of Assam? The difference between the NRC and the CAA, just to clarify for all our viewers right now, that what does it mean? Do we see the NRC also to be brought in at some stage?
Well, Shawan, so I think the government has made it amply clear, and that was in fact the confusion which led to the law and order situation, that CAA and NRC are not clubbed. They are not the same thing. NRC is about citizens of the country and to maintain a record, and we have seen from around the world the kind of experience that nations like the United States, even some nations in Europe are having, because you don't maintain a register of who is their citizen, who is not, and leading to a lot of illegal migrants coming in. So NRC is that, particularly about Assam. If you remember, NRC is a court-driven process, right from the lowest court of Assam to the topmost court of the country. Subsequently, there has been this talk that you need some kind of registry of citizens across the country, but that's not something which has been discussed. CAA, of course, is something which is specific to those persecuted minorities, specific to Afghanistan, Pakistan, and Bangladesh, who are persecuted for their religious denomination. And that's why India, being a large-hearted nation and a civilizational state, wants those people who have, particularly from Indic faiths, who feel persecuted, who have been persecuted, not just feel persecuted, but have been persecuted. And day in and day out, we keep getting those pictures from Pakistan particularly, and many from Bangladesh and Afghanistan. So I think CAA is that, NRC is different. And again, the attempt, the narrative that was built to club the CAA and NRC and hence to twist the meaning, I think that should be put to rest. This is just about CAA, and NRC is very different, specific to Assam as of now, and that's again a court-driven process.
Well, thank you very much, Abhishek. I'll just request you to stay on with us. I'll quickly go across to Anirudh, who's joining us from Guwahati. He's getting us the first reaction. It's expected that there would be some sort of, politicking on this entire matter. Opposition parties, specifically in states like Karnataka as well as Telangana, it's expected that some sort of reaction would come in. But first to you, Anirudh, I'm told that you're joined by a guest. Let's get that first quick reaction coming in.
Yes, Sawan, I'm just now right outside the headquarters of the All Assam Students Union here in Guwahati, and you can see here a lot of people have gathered outside the All Assam Students Union office. Police have been also deployed here, as ASU have already announced that they will be raising their voice against the CAA notification. They will be staging a protest outside the office. They are going to burn the rules and the notification of the CAA. Right now, I'm also joined by the top leaders of the All Assam Student Union. I have Dr. Samujal Bhattacharya with me on this broadcast. I will go to him, but first on to Utpal Sharma, President of All Assam Student Union. Utpal, what is your first reaction to the notification on the CAA?
The BJP-led government, by virtue of its majority in the parliament, has pushed the people of Assam and Northeast to the edge of destruction. Because the statement of the people of Assam and Northeast was quite clear: we do not accept CAA at any cost. In Assam, there is a historic Assam movement. There is a history of a blood-bathed movement of 6 years. After that historic Assam movement, the historic Assam Accord was signed. And on that accord, we have already shown our broad heart to the people of India. Assam alone has taken the burden of illegal immigrants up to the year 1971. When for the rest of the country, the cutoff year is 1948, 18 of July. For Assam, it is 24th March 1971. We have additionally taken the burden of 23 years of illegal Bangladeshis already. Now a small state like Assam cannot take the burden of any more single Bangladeshi from any part of the outside India. So it is very clear, we do not accept CAA at any cost. Movement will continue both in the streets and at the legal battle will continue as well.
Here you can see All Assam Student Union have already announced that they will be protesting against the CAA. They have said, they made it very clear that they are going to the Supreme Court against the implementation of the CAA. And today as the CAA notification has been issued, they are going to burn copies of the rules that has been framed in relation to the CAA. Sawan.
I'll just request you to stay on with us. Let me also quickly go across to my colleague Niranjan, who's joining us from the Kannada newsroom. It's expected the opposition parties, like what they have done back in the year 2019, ahead of the winter session, there was a lot of fear-mongering that happened. In the state of West Bengal, the Chief Minister has come out in the open saying that no matter what happens, we are not going to let CAA being implemented. What's really happening in the state of Karnataka, Niranjan?
Well, Shawan, you will remember that in the state of Karnataka, when in the height of the protests, when it happened, of course, we saw a lot of rioting in different cities, in different states, including Delhi and Uttar Pradesh. We saw a large chunk of that violent protest. But in Karnataka as well, there have been protests. And given that it is a Congress-ruled state, of course, Congress has had its own set of reservations on the issue of CAA and NRC. And you've seen the kind of response. You just mentioned Mamata Banerjee just now. Mamata Banerjee has already made it clear, saying that she has not seen the notification yet, but is expected to protest against it. And she has already made it clear that they will protest the CAA notification. I have the notification that was given out by the central government in my hand right now. And it is clear there is absolutely no need, first of all, Shawan, for anybody to fearmonger on the issue of CAA. You cannot give a communal link to it. 3 countries, it will be specifically for 3 countries, Afghanistan, Pakistan and Bangladesh. And the notification has also made it clear that 6 minorities from these 3 countries, these are a majority, these are Islamic states, Muslim states. And now, after the notification, those who entered India, the minorities from these 3 countries of Pakistan, Afghanistan and Bangladesh, those who entered India before the 31st of December will be given citizenship. Now, who are these people? Who are the 6 religious minorities from these 3 countries that will benefit from the CAA? You have Hindus, of course, persecuted in all these countries. We've broadcast stories, reported stories of Hindus being persecuted in Bangladesh, Hindus being persecuted in Pakistan, Hindus being persecuted in Afghanistan. thousands and thousands of stories, and we know that the minority figure, the number of Sikhs in these countries has come down drastically, number of Hindus has come down drastically, number of Christians has come down drastically, and the 6 religious minorities from these 3 countries include Hindus, Sikhs, Buddhists, Jains, Parsis and Christians. Now they will benefit from the CAA if they moved to India, migrated to India before the December 31st of 2014. So there's nothing to fearmonger on, because primarily these are Muslim countries, and anybody who wants to seek citizenship otherwise in India or take refuge in India, there is a process for it, and that process continues. There is no disruption in that. And we saw the kind of spin that many political parties gave, especially in the opposition, at the height of the CAA NRC protests. They tried to give it a communal spin that Muslims were being persecuted. Muslims are nowhere in the picture, because in all these 3 countries that I've just mentioned, Pakistan, Afghanistan and Bangladesh, it is the minorities who've been persecuted. In Pakistan itself, you will remember, Shravan, and on this show and on this channel, our channel, Republic Media Network, on all our channels, we have broadcast stories of, how temples were targeted for example, in Pakistan, how Hindus were singled out, how Sikhs continue to be persecuted in countries like Afghanistan. And that is why this was brought in for these minorities, religious minorities, to get refuge and citizenship in India if they entered before December 2014. So it is significant. I'm sure several years have passed since those protests broke out. This was in 2020, 2021 when the debate erupted, and 2019, 2020, 2021, and since then it's been about 3 years now. And in 3 years, I think people have seen through the propaganda of many of these opposition parties that try to create a sense of fear, a sense of confusion, a sense of insecurity among the minorities who protested. Remember, most of these protests were primarily led by the minority community here in India when they said that they were being persecuted. But it has nothing to do with persecution of any religion. If anything, the CAA gives refuge to those who are persecuted in countries like Pakistan, Afghanistan and Bangladesh. Of course, they are immediate neighbors with India, and that is why this rule has been brought in. The CAA is officially notified today, and this was one of the promises of the Modi government, and it's today a reality. Shawan.
Well, it was back in 2019 during the winter session when it was passed. Remember, thereafter we have seen large-scale protests that have taken place already. Opposition parties indicating that they are not going to implement in the states that they are ruling. Let me bring in our political editor, Aishwarya Kapoor, who is joining us on this broadcast. Aishwarya, in terms of the manner in which it is implementation, is there any clarity on how exactly does the government really plan to go about? Would this be done in a phased manner? Because as I understand, the applications have already been called in. It is already live, is what we are being told at the Ministry of Home Affairs on their website. What more are you picking up?
Shawan, as you were saying, on December 9, 2019, passed by Lok Sabha, December 11, 2019, passed by Rajya Sabha, December 12, 2019, passed by the President, and today, after 1,551 days of President's assent, CAA has been notified. I repeat, after 1,551 days after President's assent, CAA has been notified, and it's there, it's live on the Ministry of Home Affairs website. But it was first told, Deranjan and Chavan, by the Home Minister to Arnab Goswami in the Republic Summit. It was said that it will happen prior to 24, and it has happened today. And today, when the sources confirmed to us, it was very clear that it will happen and it will go live before 8 p.m. It was happened even prior to that. And as you were saying, Shavan, that it happened in the winter session of December. So 9th of December, 11th of December and 12th of December. 12th of December was the day when the President gave his approval. And today, exactly after 1,551 days of the President's approval, it's a reality. And as Deranjan was just mentioning out, it has become a political game that certain political parties, to earn their political brownie points, have been basically spreading a lot of misinformation, false information. Hence, keeping in mind, we are getting these live visuals from different part of Delhi, different part of the country. In Delhi, Northeast Delhi and Shaheen Bagh are the area where you have the paramilitary forces already deployed, though everything is calm and cool. Let no one spread any misinformation anymore. Delhi and other parts of the country are completely calm. Yes, the UP DJP has cancelled all leaves of the police, but that is just in precaution. There was a meeting at 6 p.m. to take a very stock of the situation and nothing else. Everything is calm. From Ghaziabad to Ghazipur in Uttar Pradesh, from northeast to South Delhi in Delhi, everything is calm and cool. So a lot of misinformation was also being spread earlier as well. But you have the government on record, Niranjan and Chavan, you have the Home Minister on record saying that no one will be ripped off of their citizenship. In fact, the people who have been looking to get the Indian citizenship, the Hindus who have been stranded from Bangladesh to Afghanistan, from Pakistan to Myanmar will get the citizenship. And that is why the Citizenship Amendment Act has been made or has been notified today by the Home Ministry. Back to you in the studios.
Well, in fact, let's just quickly get a sense of what's really happening in the opposition-ruled states. If there is one state which was absolutely vocal about their voice against the CAA, that's the state of West Bengal. Just about a few days ago, Chief Minister of West Bengal, Mamata Banerjee, came on record to say that no matter what happens, I'm not going to let CAA be implemented. Let me quickly get in a sense of what's happening in the state of West Bengal. My colleague Ishan Dev is joining us from the Bangla newsroom. Ishan Dev, Trinamool Congress has come on record saying that we are not going to implement. A resolution is going to be passed. That's the plan that they are bringing in, but they continue to fearmonger in this entire matter. When a direct question was actually asked to the Trinamool Congress that are they really against those who have been persecuted in the state of, in Bangladesh, in Pakistan, there was not a single response that came in from the Trinamool Congress.
Shawan, just half an hour back or sometime more, Mamata Banerjee, the TMC Supremo and the Chief Minister of West Bengal, she has held a press conference from the State Secretariat Nabanno. And as the speculations were there, as this was being widely discussed throughout the country that CAA, the rules of CAA may roll out any point of time, she suddenly went to the State Secretariat and she held the press meet, and she expressed her dubiousness about what is going to happen. She did not dare to say anymore that she is not going to allow this CAA to get implemented in West Bengal. She said that she will see it at first. She will check whether there is any kind of clause or any kind of provision which is going to deprive any part of the population or the population of West Bengal, and then she will decide what stand she will take on this. As you are putting it rightly, that earlier she made such statements, such blatant and blanket statements that she is not going to allow CAA to get implemented in West Bengal. Today, though she was expressing her doubts regarding CAA, though in spite of central government or the union government or the Home Ministry again and again making it clear that CAA has got nothing to do with snatching away anyone's
breaking news now coming in.
She again said that she is...
Ishan Dev, just hold on. I'm told that there's a breaking news now coming in. Aishwarya, what more details are you picking up?
They say that the Minister of Affairs will be notifying today the rules under the Citizenship Amendment Act 2019, CAA 2019. These rules, called the Citizenship Amendment Rules 2024, will enable the persons eligible under the CAA 2019 to apply for grant of Indian citizenship. The application will be submitted in a completely online mode, for which a web portal has been provided. So all those people, all the information which was being said, that it will rip off people from their citizenship, the Home Ministry is making it official. It is to provide citizenship and not to take away, Shavan and Niranjan. The biggest difference in the false information, Niranjan, which the opposition parties were trying to spread, Shavan, was that the CAA, which our colleague from Republic Bangla, Ishan Dev, was just trying to say that the West Bengal Chief Minister, Mamata Banerjee, is saying that she will analyze, she will say what are the rules. The MHA is saying to provide citizenship, the form will be online. It is active, and the rules will be acted under the Amendment of Rules 2024, which will be a part of the CAA 2019. The application will be submitted in a completely online mode, for which a web portal has been provided. So a web portal has been created. It is active to provide citizenship, I repeat, Shravan, not to take it away. That's the main point. The complete opposition, specifically Mamata Banerjee, the Congress party, Rahul Gandhi came out today. You had Mallikarjun Kharge coming out today that this will take away citizenship. No, the government is once again stressing and saying it is to provide citizenship and not to take it away. Back to you in the studios.
Let me also bring in my colleague Niranjan. Niranjan, just a quick recap for all our viewers who are tuning in right now. Around 6 o'clock this evening, that historic announcement being made by the Modi government that the CAA rules have been notified, which essentially means that it is going to come into effect. However, we'll have to wait for the exact details as to from when does it really come into effect and what is it that would be required in terms of procedures. But what we do know is that some applications have already been opened up. This was actually happening over the last couple of weeks or months perhaps. But the notification entails perhaps the manner in which it is going to be implemented, Niranjan.
I think you're getting live shots also, Shravan. Shravan, you're getting live shots of the Union Home Minister on... I'm getting the live shots on our camera in the Republic Kannada newsroom. He's the live shots of the Home Minister Amit Shah at the CEC meeting, at the BJP CEC meeting, where I think the final decision on the second list of candidates will be taken and all election-related issues will be discussed.
No, this is not the CEC, Niranjan.
I'm getting the visual on Kannada.
CEC. The CEC
it's
is
on
in
Republic
the evening.
Kannada right now.
He's at the Delhi function, yes. Yeah.
What meeting is this? Right.
Yeah, this
so
is a meeting.
I think we just had the pictures, the first pictures of the Union Home Minister.
This is the function of the Home Ministry, Niranjan. Yeah.
Okay. All right. But I was saying, Shravan, to your question, the Union Home Minister Amit Shah was at our Republic Summit on the 7th of March and a direct question was asked to him. In fact, our Editor-in-Chief Arnab Goswami asked him a direct question on the CAA. And it was at our summit for the first time, the central government and the Union Home Minister gave a confirmation that it's coming in. It will be notified before the elections. It was at our summit. Shravan, you were there as well. Aishwarya was there as well. A specific question was asked by Arnab on when the CAA will be brought in. And Union Home Minister Amit Shah...
Sorry to interrupt you.
Frank and direct.
Niranjan, we're just going to play out that tweet that has been put out. We'll just go... While these are images now coming in of Union Home Minister Amit Shah, we'll also put out that tweet a short while back that was posted on X by the Ministry of Home Affairs with regards to the implementation and the notification that has already taken place. We'll try and see if these are images that are now coming in. I'm told that this is from the BJP headquarters where the CAC is also going to take place, where Amit Shah has just reached. In fact, we're given to understand first there is a program that is going to be attended by the Union Home Minister, and thereafter he would be headed to the BJP headquarters where these images are now coming in, where the CEC is slated. In a short while from now it will begin. But let me just bring in my colleague Niranjan, who's joining us on this broadcast. Niranjan, Ministry of Home Affairs have now officially put this on record that the notification has been brought in, which would essentially mean that CAA comes into immediate effect. We'll try and also go through the details of the notification, which perhaps would have more details in terms of how exactly does the government plan to take this forward, particularly in states where there has been some sort of an opposition to it. So we'll have to wait and watch as to how exactly does the government really bring CAA into opposition-ruled states, because given the fact that these norms that have been brought in, the legislation that has been brought in, it is incumbent on the state governments to also implement it.
Shravan, I've just sent you a visual, Shravan. You can see that visual. If you can just open up that picture there, you have to give it to the Union Home Minister, and it's purely I'm not sure it's that coincidental. I'm not sure it's that coincidental, Shravan. But you have the number plate of the Union Home Minister as he just arrived. The number plate says CAA. The number plate says CAA, Shravan. I mean, it's something, right? He's just come in. You had the first pictures of the Union Home Minister Amit Shah come in just now, and he's got this. I mean, look at the number plate. The number plate is CAA. But anyway, that's it's just another. It's just on the side. It's on an aside that I just noticed that the team here from the Republic Kannada newsroom noticed that. Call it a coincidence or whatever, but the number plate of the Home Minister's car. CAA, I mean, it usually you don't give out the full number for security reasons, so I'm not putting out the full number. But CAA on the number plate, on a day when the CAA has been notified, I think it tells you something. A few days back as well, there was a similar, observation when Rajnath Singh, the Union Defence Minister, also rolled into the BJP headquarters. He had a similar number plate. And yeah, it's a coincidence. But Shravan, coming back to your question, the Home Minister had at the Republic Summit made it clear that the CAA is a statement of intent, it's a promise and it will be brought in, and said there was no trepidation in that. Of course, the Congress party has now tweeted questioning the timing of the CAA notification, but nonetheless, it's in. There's nothing that they can argue about anymore. The Congress saying that it's been brought in to polarize. I think it was Jairam Ramesh who just tweeted a few minutes back. And the CAA has been brought in, and if all our viewers are joining us right now on this broadcast, breaking news this hour, the central government has notified the CAA, the Citizenship Amendment Act, a copy of which is in my hand, and from the three countries, Afghanistan, Pakistan and Bangladesh, minorities belonging to 6 countries in these, to 6 religions in these countries that include Hindus, Sikhs, Buddhists, Jains, Parsis and Christians, will be given citizenship by India if they entered before the 31st of December 2014. These are for persecuted minorities. And the tweet that you were referring to, Shravan, the tweet put out by the Union Home Ministry, by the PIB Home Affairs, it's just been put out. The MHA has notified the rules under the Citizenship Amendment Act 2019, CAA 2019, and these rules, called the Citizenship Amendment Rules 2024, will enable persons eligible under CAA 2019 to apply for grant of Indian citizenship, and the applications will be submitted in a completely online mode for which a web portal has been provided. So those from these 3 countries, those persecuted religious minorities belonging to the 6 religions that I just mentioned, including Hindus, Sikhs, Buddhists, Jains, Parsis, Christians, from Pakistan, Bangladesh and Afghanistan, can now go online. The applications will be submitted in a completely online mode, and a web portal has been provided for the same. So I think it's officially begun. It will be interesting to see the kind of political reactions that you now get in to the Citizenship Amendment Act. Shravan, back to you.
Well, I'll just request all of you to stay on with us as we continue with our rolling coverage of that big announcement that has been made by the Modi government with regards to the Citizenship Amendment Act. Stepping into a short break. On the other side, we continue with our coverage.
Amity has been ranked India's #1 private university for the 11th year by India Today, a testimony to Amity's world-class education whilst imbibing values and sanskars in students.
अमित शाह जी, बंगाल में ही नहीं पूरे देश में गृह मंत्री जी CAA कब लागू होगा? क्योंकि अब मॉडल कोड ऑफ कॉन्डक्ट कभी भी लागू हो सकता है, और आपका बयान भी आ चुका है कि CAA लागू होकर रहेगा, तो इस पर कोई टाइमलाइन आप कह सकते हैं कि कब होगा?
मैं फिर से कहता हूं, CAA ये देश का कानून है, पत्थर पर लकीर है, ये वास्तविकता है, ये लागू होगा ही होगा, और इस चुनाव के पहले होगा।
इस चुनाव के पहले होगा, इस चुनाव के पहले होगा। ये बहुत बड़ी बात कही है आज। मैं तो ये कह सकता हूं कि ये हाहाकार हो गई। आपने जो बात अभी कही है, गृह मंत्री जी ने बहुत बड़ी बात हम सबके सामने
प्रणव जी, तालियां बज गई, कोई धमाका नहीं है। ये बात मैं 10 बार बता चुका हूं।
नहीं, मगर आप
चुनाव के पहले CAA लागू होगा, इस देश का कानून है, इसको कोई नहीं रोक सकता।
फैंटास्टिक। तो नोटिफिकेशन बस आने वाली है, फिर आपको लगता है नोटिफिकेशन तो बस आने वाली है? देखिए, हमें तो ब्रेकिंग न्यूज चाहिए ना। आपने इतनी बड़ी ब्रेकिंग न्यूज दी है, आदत से मजबूर हम भी हैं। बहुत बड़ी ब्रेकिंग न्यूज है और मुझे लगता है सब लोग इस पर जरूर बात करेंगे और इसका प्रभाव क्या होगा, इसका इंपैक्ट क्या होगा, अगर आप संक्षिप्त में इस पर कुछ कह सके तो।
देखिए, सीए कानून कोई नई बात नहीं है
जी।
कांग्रेस पार्टी कई चीजों को भूल गई है। मत बैंक की लालच में, वोट बैंक की लालच में कई चीजें भूल गई है। जैसे यूसीसी
जी जी,
संविधान सभा का वादा था। इसी तरह से जब देश का दुर्भाग्यपूर्ण तरीके से धर्म के आधार पर विभाजन हुआ
जी,
तब पाकिस्तान और अब के बांग्लादेश से लाखों लाखों की संख्या में हिंदू, बौद्ध, सिख शरणार्थी आ रहे थे और मार काट हो रही थी। कांग्रेस के ही नेताओं ने, देश के नेताओं ने एक वादा किया था, आप धैर्य रखिए, आप कभी भी यहां आएंगे, आपको ये देश स्वीकार करेगा, आपको नागरिकता देगा। इस वादे पर सभी लोग वहां रहे
जी।
उनके पर अनेक प्रकार के अत्याचार हुए, धार्मिक प्रताड़ना हुई, धर्म परिवर्तन करने के लिए दबाव बनाया गया, उनकी महिलाओं को, हमारी माताओं बहनों को अपमानित किया गया। वो लोग बदले के लिए भारत की शरण में आए और अगर आज भारत अपने वो वादे को जो 15 अगस्त 1947 में किया गया है उसको याद नहीं करता है तो वो ठीक नहीं होगा। करोड़ों लोग इस देश के अंदर नागरिकता के बगैर रह रहे हैं, जो वहां से प्रताड़ित, मुझे कोई बता सकता है, ममता बनर्जी बता सकती है कि वो कहां जाए, कहां जाएंगे वो लोग? वहां उनकी सुरक्षा नहीं है, उनकी महिलाओं को अपमानित किया जा रहा है, हमारी माताओं बहनों को अपमानित किया जा रहा है, धर्म परिवर्तन करने के लिए मजबूर किया जा रहा है। हम भी शरण न दे
जी,
हम भी उनका स्वागत न करें। भारत में स्वागत है, भारत उनको नागरिकता की भी देगा और मेरे आपके जितना अधिकार भी देगा और स्वागत करेगा।
I am very, very happy to announce that Niva Bopa Health Insurance
Welcome back after the break, and as we report from Guwahati, the CAA rules comes into effect, and you can see here the All Assam Students Union and the Northeast Student Organization have jointly blocked the road that leads to the Raj Bhavan in Guwahati, and they have burned the copies of the notification that has been issued by the Ministry of Home Affairs in relation to the implementation of CAA. Back in 2019 also, when the Citizenship Amendment Bill was tabled in the Parliament, at that point in time, violent protests were witnessed across the Northeast, in Assam also, in Guwahati particularly, violent protests were witnessed. And thereafter, when the CAA came into effect, there was protests from all sides, but the All Assam Student Union have been maintaining. The All Assam Student Union have been maintaining that they will be going through a democratic way of protest. They will be, as the future course of action that has been chalked out by the leadership of the All Assam Student Union and the Northeast Student Organization. They want to say that they will be approaching the Supreme Court next. So we slip into a short commercial break now.
The theme is Bharat the next decade, because we have very limited time today.
And that is Bharat the next decade. Beyond the politics of India.
Yes, sir.
This growing nation, a nation which is now anxiously waiting for its day in the sun. And I think that's where we are headed. Today, when I walk in the streets of London,
Sir.
It's not, ouch, here comes an Indian, it's, wow, here comes an Indian.
Wow. That's amazing. So from where you are India's #1 jurist, legal voice, one of the biggest international lawyers. How do you view Bharat the next decade? And from the point of view of jurisprudence and law, what needs to be done? get us there?
We need to.
Mic closes.
We need to get our courts in sync with the rest of India.
You don't think they are?
They are. You cannot run a 21st century India with 19th century mindset courts, and that's what we have.
Wow. You believe our courts are not with the times?
No, they are not. And I say so because I'm a part of the system, and I say so in a positive sense, not to denigrate or degrade anybody because that doesn't help. But there is a lot of catching up to do. There is a lot of catching up to do at all levels. Domain expertise has been brought into government. Domain expertise has to be brought into the judicial system.
Can you expand on that?
So if you have commercial courts, you must have judges who understand commerce. You cannot have judges who look blank when you talk of competition. You cannot have judges who look blank when you talk of financial services. And that domain expertise has to come so that the lower rung of judiciary is repaired. Our Supreme Court has to go back to being what it was meant to be, the Supreme Court of India, not yet another court of India which pokes its nose in everything.
Wow, that's going to make headlines coming from you, Mr. Salve. Rhythm would like to take that forward.
It should, because today, unfortunately, the Supreme Court is hearing appeals from amending of pleadings, hearing appeals from every small little case which gets decided by the way. You know, I now work in different jurisdictions, India and another jurisdiction. In United Kingdom, 9 out of 10 cases come to an end in the court of first instance.
Yeah.
We have to get there. Otherwise, this disrepair in our judicial system is not going to get sorted. The common man's interface with justice, you've seen this for yourself.
Yes, sir.
The common man's interface with justice is first in the criminal justice system with the magistrate,
sir,
and in the civil justice system with the district judge. And they have to be of fine fettle.
Yeah.
And when they are of fine fettle, the pressure on your high courts will go down. And then your high courts have to be brought up to mark. The commercial side of the high court, today Delhi High Court has some very good judges, but some very few very good judges. We need a lot more, we need a much wider base. And we have to get back the legal system into a pyramid. Today it's like a rectangular block. Everything goes from floor to floor. That's not how legal systems can work.
Right.
There has to be a pyramidical structure. Bulk gets sorted out at the lower level, a much smaller at mid, and right at the top, important questions
Very few.
of law.
अगला सवाल आपके मंत्रालय से जुड़ा हुआ सवाल मेरा यह है कि पिछले 5 साल में गृह मंत्रालय ने FCRA यानी कि फॉरेन कंट्रीब्यूशन रेगुलेशन एक्ट को लेकर बहुत सख्त कार्रवाई की है। होम मिनिस्ट्री का अपना डेटा है कि 16,000 एनजीओ जो है उनके FCRA लाइसेंस को कैंसिल किया गया है। उसके साथ साथ टेरर फंडिंग, एनजीओ फंडिंग पर रोकने की कोशिश हुई है, लेकिन शायद पूरी सफलता नहीं मिली। इसके पीछे स्ट्रेटेजी क्या है? एक तो जो ओवरग्राउंड और अंडरग्राउंड सेल होते हैं, नेक्सस है, इसके फॉर्मूले को तोड़ने की कोशिश है या एनजीओस को टारगेट किया जा रहा है, वो कहते हैं। तो इस पर अगर आप
देखिए,
अपनी
अडल जी, आप दो चीजों को मिक्सअप कर रहे हैं।
अच्छा,
FCRA को हमने कानून में परिवर्तन किया। कानून को में परिवर्तन करने का हमारा उद्देश्य ये था कि FCRA का उपयोग कर विदेशों से चंदा लाकर, डोनेशन लाकर इस देश की डेमोग्राफी को बदलने का प्रयास नहीं होना चाहिए। एक, सेवा के लिए अगर कोई पैसा भेजता है, सेवा कार्य के लिए करता है, व्यक्ति समूह के उत्थान के लिए भेजता है, तो उसका स्वागत है। हमने कठोर नियम बनाए, ऑडिट कंपलसरी किया और ऑडिट को रेगुलर किया। इसके आधार पर ये सारे रजिस्ट्रेशन कैंसिल हुए हैं। कुछ लोगों ने तो 16,000 में से 12,000 लोगों ने स्वतः ही कैंसिल करा दिया। भारत मैं फिर से कहता हूं, CAA ये देश का कानून है, पत्थर पर लकीर है, ये वास्तविकता है, ये लागू होगा ही होगा और इस चुनाव के पहले होगा।
इस चुनाव के पहले होगा, इस चुनाव के पहले होगा। ये बहुत बड़ी बात कही है आज। मैं तो ये कह सकता हूं कि ये हाहाकार हो गई। आपने जो बात अभी कही है, गृह मंत्री जी ने बहुत बड़ी बात हम सबके सामने
प्रणव जी, तालियां बज गई। कोई धमाका नहीं, ये बात मैं 10 बार बता चुका हूं।
नहीं, मगर आप
चुनाव के पहले ये लागू होगा। इस देश का कानून है, इसको कोई नहीं रोक सकता।
Amity has been ranked India's #1 private university for the 11th year by India Today, a testimony to Amity's world-class education whilst imbibing values and sanskars in students.
Hollywood, Hollywood, you can't hide. Hollywood, Hollywood, you can't hide. Shame on you! 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 Ceasefire now! 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 Prison policy! Prison revolution! Shame on you! 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 No more! No more! Shame on you!
نحن ثبتنا 5 مبادئ من أجل تحقيق هذا الاتفاق الذي